legitimate legend of, I was going to call it broadcasting. It's announcing would be the right way to put it. A man whose voice you will have heard many, many times over the years, announcing some of the biggest fights you've ever seen and you've ever heard. Michael Buffer himself joining us on Radio Row. He's just getting his headset on. He's turned up with a belt and with a ring will go with him and everything. Michael, you turn up to Radio Row and you turn up correct, sir. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Got it all. This is Jen.
Hey, Jen. How are you doing?
With Triller and Triad Combat.
Absolutely love that. So what are you down
here? I'm going to be in Manchester next week, too.
What are you in? Oh, you mentioned
Cal Brook.
Yeah.
And Amir Khan.
That fight is live on talkSPORT. And on talkSPORT on the radio.
Great.
We're covering that fight. So
I'm in the right place at the right time then.
Absolutely love that. How much do you enjoy coming out to the UK and calling those moments?
Oh, it's the best. I not just because I'm talking to you, but I've said it many times before. When it comes to fight fans, the British fight fans definitely hold the belt for being the best. They know the sport. They come early. They have their favorites. They follow them. They're loyal, and they appreciate the sport. That's great. I mean, no matter where I've gone, and whether it's Cardiff, Manchester, London, the great fans.
How much when you get asked, you get the call to call a fight like to introduce a fight like Khan Brook, which we've waited many years for. Are you a big boxing fan? Like, you've got the great voice, and you obviously do a great job of hyping everyone up. But are you a boxing fan? Do you hear that and go, I'm for it?
Long-time boxing fan, yeah. I mean, this is a fight the fans wanted 5 years ago, but we're still going to get it. And I think they're still on equal footing as far as, like, I can't pick who's going to win this fight. And it's something you want to see.
I'm just saying, should we get a seat for Jen to sit down rather than standing behind you? Because it's slightly weird on the couch. You're kind of half cut off, Jen, and I feel bad about this. So come in and take a seat. I get that your job is to walk, but come on, sit down, join us properly. I feel much better about it if you were. That's brilliant. Look, you say about the UK fight fans being so brilliant and that being a fight that we so want. So as a boxing fan, what do you make of the other big British fight we've got coming up? We've got Fury, and it's White, which is not the fight we necessarily wanted, but might deliver.
Yeah, right now you have to figure Tyson Fury is at the top of the heap in the heavyweight division. That's, just the records speak for themselves, and the fact that AJ's got to come back and have that rematch with Usyk. So Dillian White has been ranked number 1 by the WBC for many years, and that's the belt that Fury has. So they're going to have it. I think it's going to be the end of April. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
We're also hoping live on talkSPORT, much like Khan Brook as well. We've got our fingers crossed. We're working on it at the moment. Yeah. The purse was won. It was big money. Now it's our job to do the same thing. But I want to know a little bit about yourself and how you get ready for something like this weekend. You got going to Manchester next weekend. Khan Brook. How much are you doing your announcing on the fly? How much is it scripted? And how do you get that voice ready to go out there and really bang that out?
It's the whole reason I started saying the word, let's get ready to rumble, the phrase, is because somewhere along the line, 40 years ago when I first started, ring announcers were introducing all their pals and buddies on the boxing commission, and it would be the doctors and the judges, and it in the age of electronics, it would kill the crowd. You'd have the fighters come to the ring, it's music, it's exciting, they're in the ring, the fans are jamped up, and then these ring announcers were just like taking all the air out of the room. So I wanted something to bring us back to the stars of the show. That's the fighters, and now you're going to meet the star. And I tried, man your battle stations, and nothing was happening. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. And the great Muhammad Ali used to say, I'm so pretty, I'm ready to rumble, rumble, young man. And so that little bit of piece of that phrase was there. I started to say, let's get ready to rumble and introduce the fighters. And I used to sort of like rush through it. Let's get ready to rumble, 10 rounds of boxing. And there, I didn't want to, I wasn't really trying to draw attention to myself, but I wanted to set the stage for the fighters. And a good friend of mine who's since passed away, he was like Jody Berry, a singer, show business guy. He said, when you say, let's get ready to rumble, shut up, because the crowd wants to react. And I followed that advice, and it really took off.
Do you know what the longest one you've done is? Because I love it when you really hold it and really sell it.
It's been the longest ones were quite a few years ago. You get a little older, it gets a little tougher on the pipes.
I think for me, it is my favourite kind of moment before a fight. It's that moment where you've had the ring, you've got into it. Ade Oladipo is now with us, our boxing correspondent. We've talked a little bit about Calmbrook. Yeah. He's telling us about where Let's Get Ready to Rumble came from. I might just hand over to you. Would you like to ask the great man a question?
How crazy this is. Like, for me, if Michael was in England, he'll be Sir Michael Buffer.
Honestly,
he'll be Sir Michael Buffer. Growing up and hearing Michael say, "Let's get ready to rumble," and the crowd just go like crazy. I was about to swear there. Apologies. About to say something I shouldn't
We're
say.
live on radio right now, just so you know.
It's just how he does it. It's incredible. What's it like for you, Michael, as a big boxing fan? Like, you've done all the big events. You've done all the biggest ones at Madison Square Garden. You've done Wembley. You've done T-Mobile. You've done all over the world. Saudi Arabia for AJ Ruiz as well. What's that like as an event compared to the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm actually not appearing at the Super Bowl. Yeah, I've done a lot of NFL games through the years, including Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA Finals, Indy 500, NASCAR. I've done, the Super Bowl. The league comes in and runs the show, and so it's just everything's up to them. I've done the World Series too in America, but the Super Bowl, I think, has elevated itself to the biggest sporting event in the world. It will be viewed by more people live than any other sporting event at one time. A boxing event, people can watch it a million times on YouTube and this and that. But when it comes to watching something live, the Super Bowl will probably have 250 million people watching it at one time. That's pretty damn exciting.
That's pretty damn crazy.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. That's why we're all the way from London, just for me to experience that. Again, I'm from the boxing world, and I'm trying to compare big boxing events and this kind of media. Look, you've seen the media. You've obviously done all the boxing events that can be done, and this kind of turnout is just incomparable.
Yeah,
I can't compare it to anything. It is comparable. Can I talk to you about boxing, Michael, very quickly? Where are we, do you think, in boxing right now, the state of boxing? Everyone compares it to the great times of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, maybe even the noughties to an extent with Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. Where are we now with boxing in that search for the big superstars?
The sport, I think, is bigger than it's ever been because of communications, worldwide communications, and the ability to. I can remember 50 years ago, lucky enough to maybe see Hagler fight. Who was it? Alan Minter.
Yep.
Okay, and it's grainy and it's by satellite, and now you get a perfect picture from anywhere in the world. Streaming or on a regular broadcast. So it's available to so many more fans. But what you're saying is, we still want to see that superstar. We want to see
someone
an undefeated champion of the world, whether it's in the heavyweight division or a middleweight like Hagler, or you want to see that one champion. I think that's what's an element that's missing from developing the superstars. Tyson Fury is a superstar because he's in the heavyweight division.
Everyone loves the heavyweights.
Nothing's bigger than the heavyweight champion of the world, So if we have 2 or 3 of them and they have star power, that's great. And right now, Tyson has star power. AJ still has star power. When he walks out and those entrances and that sort of thing. Usyk defeated him, but still doesn't have the star power.
Doesn't have it.
Because it's people aren't that familiar with him. When you're around him, and I'm sure you've met him, he's a great guy to be around.
What a character, right? Almost a bit like a WWE character.
Absolutely.
What a character. Mike, you've been doing this for years. You've been doing it for years, Michael. Again, you reeled off some of the events you've done, all the events. I mean, you've even done Premier League football. I remember you at Chelsea for Premier League football.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot, Mike.
You mean with the sprinkler?
With the sprinkler.
Oh, tell that story.
I didn't want to say
I didn't miss the beat, though, did I?
You kept on going.
Yeah.
The sprinklers went
Let me
off.
tell you something funny about that. When it hit me, I knew exactly what was happening. I knew how to keep going. And I had, because of, we have all these players that come from Eastern Europe. And so I have all the names written phonetically in ink. and the water hits it, and I'm down to like 3 more names, and I see the ink start to run. And I figure, well, I don't want to rush through it, so I just luckily I got through it and had a laugh. That's all you can do.
Aside from that, and that was a scary moment, and I remember it. Any other scary moments?
Scary moments.
Where you do get some of those crazy names as well. Like, it's easy if someone's called Chris Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll take a Smith anytime over, Iqbal du Madangelo goods,
That's
so,
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. But where does the hunger come from to continue, to travel the world, all over the world and do events? Where does that still come from?
Love of the sport.
Yeah.
Love of the event and the energy and the part that I have in it. It's something you can feed off of and enjoy, and to be a part of some of these great events, like you just mentioned, Wembley.
Yeah.
I know every time I look at that videotape of Freddie Mercury at Wembley, and you look at the crowd, and it's all lit up,
Like
and
a sea of
you see people, and then I realized I did Wembley with more people, 90,000, and they were all there in the dark with the little flashes from their cameras going off, and I'd like, holy mackerel! I didn't realize how fantastic that was at the time, because I was just like enjoying that moment, dying to get over the introductions, to get out of the ring and watch the fight as a fan.
Those moments are incredible. Do you understand what you bring to the sport? Well, like, as a fan, I've been to events, and I'm lucky enough now to be ringside and watch you really close up do your thing. But do you understand, as soon as you say, let's get ready to rumble, it's like nothing else. It's incomparable. There's nothing else in any sport that compares. Like, what you do for fans and the moment they scream, it's incredible.